I was so pissed. So I went to the casino once, and I drove to MGM in a snowstorm in the town car. I drove in a snowstorm in the town car.
In the Butte, yeah.
I get there. The max buy-in at the poker table is like $300, so I bought in with like $250, whatever. I'm again bringing what I planned to lose, but I drove there in a snowstorm. I planned to be there for a little while longer.
Right. You're like, I'm not trying to turn around in 20 minutes and do this all over again.
Oh, but wait. So I sit down, I get pocket jacks, and I'm like, fuck, man, I guess I'm playing this hand, you know? Yeah. So I fucking end up, and I'm sitting with this dude, and he raises, and I look at him, I was like, buddy, you're really making me go all in my first hand sitting down. And he doesn't say anything. I'm like, fuck it, all in, push all my chips in. I've got pocket jacks. He's got pocket queens.
Of course.
It's just game over from the rip. I'm drawing dead. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And I know my limits, because knowing your limit is always the best bet, even though we don't have a gambling sponsorship yet, which I'm sure will come up in the episode.
Damn it, we should. We are perfectly,
we're the target audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
We spent the whole beginning of this talking all about casinos and responsible gambling. How much better does it get for you guys?
It's so bad. So I go all in. He's got me covered. I lose. And I turn around and drive the fuck home in a snowstorm. I was so mad.
Oh man, I overestimated when I said 20 minutes. You spent about what, 2?
No, it was about 15. I was there. Okay. Like, bro, I took a piss. Like I peed more than I played poker. Right? I took a piss before the game. I took a piss before the drive home. And like the whole time I was like, I came here to use the goddamn bathroom. That's
right. Like I had a perfectly good pisser at home, and I used it twice here because I really just wanted to be in the snowstorm.
To drive my rear-wheel drive 1995 town car in the snowstorm. Which,
hey, she held up. You're here.
Maybe I actually died in that snowstorm. That would have been probably a better option.
So this is our simulation?
This is just a fever dream, yeah. This is like the Matrix shit.
Are you Tupac's hologram? Is there the same technology? Does it work the same way?
I wouldn't say I'm that cool.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not cool enough to be Tupac's hologram. Maybe like
some conspiracy theorists would disagree with you, but this is not a.
You think Tupac's not cool?
No, I said some conspiracy theorist would disagree with you on that, but that's a tinfoil hat type of conversation, and I don't have a tinfoil hat, so I can't actually get into that.
Yeah, you were about to say this is not a conspiracy podcast. And to be clear, this is absolutely a conspiracy podcast.
Debatable.
It is 1000% a conspiracy podcast. And
disagree.
Like, I'll sneak it in where I can. How's about that? Like, I don't know. I'm very glad that you didn't cut my mention of Flavio being in Jeffrey Epstein's Little Black Book. So that's I don't know. I hope
you know a little secret. Anyway. Most things are going to fly because while I do listen to the podcast back when I'm doing the edit, I'm mainly just listening for where my cuts are supposed to be. And then that's about it. I'm not really re-listening to the whole thing. So more often than not, everything's just going to go.
That's what matters. Well, are you ready to cut here to do the intro?
Let's do an intro. Welcome back to Back Markers. We have our Monaco
the latest Formula One podcast that nobody asked for. You got to say the tagline if we're doing the intro.
Well, we got to do it every now and then. That's fair. So yeah, we're the Back Markers podcast, the latest and greatest F1 podcast that no one really asked for, but here we are anyways. We've got our Monaco Grand Prix debrief. We had the greatest weekend in racing, and I'd say, because I didn't watch the last one, 2 out of 3 were solid. 2.5 out of 3 were solid, maybe. Races.
I would say, wait, which 2 are we counting? Because I
We got to
Which
start with the
surely
Wienie
counts.
500. Come on.
Oh my God.
That race
Four
was
out of 3
absolutely
because the Wienie
incredible.
500 was glorious.
It was amazing. That was the most
Yeah.
perfectly American thing that's ever existed on the planet Earth. That was one, just legitimately an awesome race. Like way more
That finish
exciting.
was amazing.
I mean, take apart, it's big ass Wienermobiles going 40 around that
Governed
track.
out at 60.
It governed out at 60. See, I didn't even know that. So yeah, I mean, they're going at they didn't even hit pace car speeds at IMS there. However, more action, more passing, a car blew up, and we had a sprint towards this finish line for an overtake at the last second. Like
It was
it was
beautiful.
magnificent. Absolutely magnificent.
Hell yeah. I did not get a chance to watch it live, but I saw a couple of clips, including what you sent me, and yeah, that was everything good about this country.
Oh yeah, that was perfect right there. I was so excited. Not many people saw it, but I was live tweeting from our X account, formerly known as Twitter, the whole thing. It was amazing.
You
Dude,
just
I got
ruined
so
it because you didn't
excited.
call it Twitter.
I will always call it X now. It's the everything app. Everything happens on it. So, but yeah, the Wienie 500, magnificent. I almost, do you think they should bring it back? Or was it perfect as is?
No, absolutely. Make that a thing every year.
Mm-hmm.
The wieners should get smaller.
Mm.
The wieners should get more aerodynamic.
Maybe throw a Hebrew national in there.
Like I said, I'm a ballpark man. That's all that matters.
Or does Oscar Mayer have the are they patented the Wienermobile?
No,
no one else
they
can drive
patented
it.
the Wienermobile. Yeah, that's proprietary, but I don't know. Maybe a Johnsonville sausage comes down from Wisconsin. Who knows?
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
A little cheddar filled sausage.
Oh my God, cheddar brats. Oh jeez, now I'm hungry.
It's summer season. It's grilling season again. But so you think they should bring it back?
Oh, absolutely, 1,000%. I think they should make it more exciting. I think they should give all the wieners custom liveries. I think they should decorate their wieners.
Mm-hmm.
We should all decorate our wieners. Okay, and speaking of wieners, we talked about a kind of controversial topic, and I want to clarify what I said. The mac and cheese hot dog is delicious. Okay, it's glorious. A little bit of barbecue sauce on that bitch, magnificent. Okay, the best topping for a hot dog: ketchup, mustard, relish. That's it. That's all you need. If you're having a proper hot dog, that's the right way to do it.
I don't think anybody heard you say a mac and cheese hot dog and thought that's a standard dog right there.
No.
I think people would understand that is a specialty, like gourmet dog right there.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Gotta love that. Gotta love that kind of wiener. But
you love a special wiener?
I'm trying to say wiener as many times as humanly possible.
Oh, they were cracking all of the wiener jokes during the broadcast of it. It was perfect. It was the most glorious thing ever. I think my favorite thing I said during it was when Will Buxton agreed to become the play-by-play guy for IndyCar. Do you think he anticipated that he'd be calling a Wienermobile race throughout the whole thing and cracking wiener jokes during the entire 2-lap race?
And that is the first race that he called at Indy, was the Wienie 500.
Yes, it was.
That's hysterically funny.
So, Will, what was it like calling your first race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway? It was glorious. They were the biggest wieners I've ever seen. Will, what did you just say? Oh my God, the slaw dog. That comeback.
Damn. That's funny.
What other variants of food would it be fun to see race against each other?
That is an interesting question.
The first thing that comes to my mind is the Krabby Patty mobile.
Oh my God.
From SpongeBob.
Game over. The Krabby Patty mobile is going to win every time.
That would be awesome. I feel like they're their own individual series. Like they couldn't race against each other. Like you wouldn't see a wiener and a burger next to each other. Like it'd just be like a
Except
burger series and a wiener series and so on.
except like the 24 hours of Le Mans, you have the LMP1 cars, you have the Porsches, you have all the rest of the cars the rest of the way down.
Right.
I think you definitely could have mixed racing. And I mean, the Krabby Patty Mobile would be like a hypercar. I mean, you don't need a license to drive a burger, right? It's too perfect. Like it's going to be too fast for the rest of the field and too fast for the rest of the series.
Would it though?
Oh yeah, 100%.
But like if we're thinking about it, would a hot dog not be more aerodynamic than a burger?
I think the burger is going to be smaller. It's about power to weight ratio, baby. Those Wienermobiles are on a fucking a bus chassis, whereas the Wienermobile
at least a 25, 3,500, something like that.
Yeah,
they got the dualies at the back of those things.
It's a big boy. Boy. Burgermobile is a 2-seater convertible. You're flying in that sucker. It's game over.
Okay.
You got lettuce and cheese on the side for aero wings to bring everything down. It's game over.
That's what I was thinking with the Wienermobile, because you got the hot dogs up, almost acting like a rear spoiler for you in a sense. Like, think that's creating any sort of a downforce for you there, or would it be better if it was just straight like the old F1 type cars?
I would think it would be more drag than downforce, but I do not have a degree in engineering. So,
well, with your fake degree in engineering, what do you say?
Yeah.
Drag, more drag than downforce?
It looks like it would probably be a little bit more drag than downforce, especially because it's like a smoother profile. And again, could be completely wrong, but I would think that a sharper thing pushing down, because like you look at the wing on an F1 car, it's a sharp line that forces the air rather than a smooth flowing thing that moves the air up. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. Yeah, you're not wrong. That's a good point. Yeah, and when you got DRS, it opens it up so that you have more air going through it. Okay, you know what? More drag. That's fair. Krabby Patty, just rounded fun.
Let me call Adrian Newey and ask him what he thinks.
I honestly believe that if you got him to take it seriously, he would give you one of the best answers ever to that question.
Absolutely. No question. No question at all.
Do you think Adrian Newey even knew that race happened this weekend?
Yeah, because I just texted him about it.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, okay, how about
he's getting back to me.
Okay, how about Toto Wolff? Do you think Toto Wolff knew that race was happening this weekend?
No, absolutely not. It didn't translate into German.
Actually,
no, he wasn't at Monaco. I'm thinking he was driving one of the Wienermobiles. That's probably Monaco. Why he wasn't at. Was he at Monaco?
Yeah, he yelled at James after the race. Remember?
You're right. Okay,
that was the week before he was gone. He was at Emilia Romagna. He was at his son's graduation.
Maybe that's a sign of kid graduating. Come on, why would you go to that? Maybe that's a sign we should maybe talk about Formula One, though.
I think we should get into some of the Formula One, but the Wiener, I felt like it was a little bit of a disservice if we did not start with the Wienie 500.
Not talk about
we began our Pontiac Grand Preview with it, and it lived up plus more than what the hype had behind it. So it was only right to do it. Shout out America. Happy Memorial Day. We had the Wienermobile race, and it couldn't have been any better. So that was a great way to start off the weekend. But yes, let's in fact go into. I had one other side note that I did want to bring up about the mac and cheese thing that we did talk about here. This was the question I had afterwards that I wish I'd asked in the moment. Is mac and cheese on a hot dog the new does pineapple belong on pizza?
I think it's too niche, however you say that word. But it doesn't matter because pineapple does belong on pizza. It's okay.
Could not be more wrong on that too.
I used to work. I was the greatest pizza delivery driver in the world.
Peter Parker.
I have worked. Fuck that. He's Spider-Man. No, he's not a pizza delivery driver. He's a photographer. Know your lore. But no, yeah, I was the greatest pizza delivery driver in the world. I had a many season career. I'm in the pizza delivery driving Hall of Fame, if you will. Many season career. seasoned vet of the pizza delivery driving game,
Mm-hmm.
and pineapple absolutely is a valid topping to put on pizza.
I just disagree. I don't like
Okay,
it on it.
build a pizza then. Tell me your pizza.
My favorite pizza, like my go-to is big ham guy. I love ham.
Okay.
So I'm going with ham, not pepperoni. Pepperoni's standard, it's classic, but
Is
that's
it
not
too
my go-to.
spicy for you?
No, not at all. No, nothing to do with that. It's just I prefer ham. That's all that comes down to.
It's
I'm
okay.
doing
You can be
ham.
wrong.
I like spinach on my pizza, so ham and spinach is solid for me. And more often than not, I'll just leave it at that. But if I want to go a little extra, I'll put bacon and green peppers on that thing too.
There's no such thing of
double pig and 2 greens. That's like, I don't know. It's a weird combo, I feel,
it's
but
a
I
terrible
enjoy
combo.
it. I like banana peppers on pizza too. That's a good one to throw in there.
That's a good one.
Banana peppers is
Yeah,
good.
I'll give you that one. But listener,
But don't get me wrong, I'll chow down on a meat lover's pizza like all day long. But like if I'm building my own personal, like this is something special for me right here, that's what I'm going with.
Well, listener, if you're like me and you think Derek is wrong, send us an email, backmarkersf1pod@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
We have not received
like, comment, subscribe,
from the listener,
anything.
period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, but send us an email. Tell us what your perfect pizza is and tell us why Derek is wrong. Okay, I'll give you my pizza. All right. So I worked at, and there was a pizza.
Do they really have better ingredients?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They did anyway. At least that is. Do you remember that video that he did after Papa said the N-word, and got fired, as he should have been? There was this interview that he did where he is the sweatiest man I've ever seen. He's like, a day of reckoning is coming. I've eaten over like 2 pizzas a day. I've eaten over 30 pizzas since I've been fired, and they do not taste the same. I'm like, all right, buddy, calm down. So the best pizza is Italian sauce, specifically at Papa, because that's where I worked. That was, we should censor out the name of that because I know free ads. They're not paying us. Shaq, give us some money and then we'll mention the name of the place.
Go in a Shaq-a-roni for us. That's all it'll take.
They had, honestly, yeah, I'd be cool with that as endorsement. One pizza, one Shaq-a-roni.
Email us a Shaq-a-roni too.
Email us the pizza. No, it was Italian sausage. Sometimes I would do bacon, sometimes I wouldn't, but Italian sausage, pepperoni, cheese, pineapple.
Okay, cheese is just standard. Cheese
belongs
to pizza. Are you saying like extra cheese?
I'm saying cheese, and then the 6 cheese blend that they had on there. The 3, that was the extra.
You're going double cheese. Got it.
Absolutely, all the cheese in the world. And then cook the pizza well. I feel like I'm missing an ingredient.
You were saying pineapple.
Pineapple, Italian sausage, pepperoni, cheese, and then jalapenos. And then on the side, a little bit of barbecue sauce.
Perfect
sauce. Pizza.
Barbecue chicken, Chuck. Barbecue chicken. I love those guys. They're the best.
Chicken would be blasphemous.
I do like a barbecue chicken pie every now and then.
Can't go wrong with it. Is it as good as buffalo chicken?
I think it's better because I don't like a buffalo chicken pizza.
Full of terrible food taste.
I don't like buffalo chicken pizza. Buffalo chicken sandwich is great. Buffalo wings are great. Like, I like me buffalo chicken, just not on a pizza. It just doesn't do it for me. So the reason why for me specifically on that, I really enjoy the pizza sauce.
Yeah.
And when you have a buffalo chicken or a barbecue chicken, your sauce is replaced by that then. And I just miss like what I considered pizza to be then.
And that bothers me because like what I would do is I would make
Why can't you do both?
No, 100%. I would make the
Yeah.
regular pizza because one of the beautiful things about working in a pizza parlor is you just make
You
good
do whatever you want.
pizzas. You
Yeah.
just make whatever the fuck you want. And we would do. I had the best boss in the world at that pizza store, but we would make all sorts of creations. But I would like regular pepper, like pizza with chicken, and then barbecue sauce on top. That's the way to do it. That's the way I like to do a barbecue chicken.
Okay.
Are
I
we
like
done
that.
talking about food?
Yeah, we can be done with that now.
Not that I want to be done.
I was
To
looking
be
back at our
clear,
notes. I was like, okay, wait, I forgot. This needed to be talked about, and I'm glad we did because who doesn't like talking about pies? Anyways, or other food for that matter. Anyways, but yeah, we can get
speaking of,
into some actual Formula One talk here for
all
us.
right.
Monaco. So one of the things we talked about in the preview was, would it come down to Saturday? Would it come down to qualifying to determine the winner here?
Yes,
And
it did.
it very much did.
Very
There
much
were
did.
like a couple of moments where I thought that it wasn't going to though throughout the race. So if I'm gonna give Monaco anything with the two-tire pit stop, I would give it was about 5% more exciting than last year's race.
So it was 5% exciting.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
Like watching and
Out
listening
of
to the
let
commenters the whole time, like there were times where I'm like, what if something does happen here? And then just nothing ended up happening. So it's like,
can
eh.
can we score it out of 100? What are you giving Monaco? Or out of 10? Is that easier?
No, I'm already thinking on the 100 scale.
Because you said percentage. That's why I went there.
Yeah, that's fair. Just the race itself, not taking into the fact that it's Monaco. Like if you don't have that,
Yeah.
I'd give it like a 15 out of 100.
Yeah.
You know, like because it's not
Yeah.
like nothing happened. It's just that the things that did happen, like, didn't matter really at the end of the day. You know, like Bortoletto into the wall didn't really end up doing much. Pierre crashing, like it didn't
Didn't
cause
matter. Didn't
anything.
matter
Yeah,
at
like
all.
we just never like they just threw caution flags and they went
Yeah.
slowly by those areas and then they just kept moving on. Like it was like okay, whatever. So what would you rate it?
I think 15 is generous. I think you saying 5% better than last year. My number is about 5 out of 100. It was like the spectacle of Monaco is the best part of Monaco.
Yeah.
Seeing the beautiful south of France. Honestly, I don't know if you remember from like back in the day, but it used to be that the cameras and the
Hmm.
film direction was all done by the organizers of the Monaco Grand Prix
Mm.
rather than the F1 crew that films F1 races professionally.
Hmm.
So there would be these beautiful scenes, but like you would get terrible, terrible camera action, right?
Gotcha.
They also, for whatever reason, didn't focus on the casino. Like they tried to not focus the casino. So that
Interesting.
shot that you see after they come up the big hill
Hmm.
and come into the shot that way in front of the casino, you never saw that shit.
Wow.
Um,
That's
yeah. So
crazy.
yeah. So it was like it's beautiful. Like I would love to go see the Monaco Grand Prix in person,
Oh,
which
absolutely.
and that's what everybody says is you have to be there, you have to watch it. Sorry, I can't afford a fucking boat. Um, but that is
You could
definitely
watch it
like,
from the hill. Did you see that video at all this
oh yeah, yeah,
weekend?
yeah. That was awesome. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's not
You're not really seeing
it's
it.
it's not it. You know what I
You're
mean? Like
there.
and like if I'm going to Monaco, I'm watching it from a fucking boat. Okay, to
Yeah.
be clear. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, the marina would be the best way to do it ever.
100%, right?
Hmm.
So I think like with an event like Monaco, you have to have the spectacle as part of the calculation, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the racing is mid.
Yeah. Yeah, the racing was very, very much mid. I mean, it was more interesting in that you saw some crazy strategies that no one was expecting by all calculations. Like to me,
Yeah,
it seems like
like George
some
is George is cutting the cutting the chicane.
That was awesome. But like it's something like when they were doing like the meetings or when they were coming up with this, you had to think like everybody was kind of thinking the same thing in those meetings. Like, yeah, let's do this two pits. That's definitely gonna be more exciting. And in their minds thinking like, if this situation happens, I can back this pack up here. I could do this here. Like you got to think like maybe the strategists were kind of like foaming at the mouth, like, oh, they have no idea what type of can of worms they just opened, type of thing.
I don't know. I don't know that the strategists were necessarily going that crazy about it. I think that and let's just talk about it since we talked about packs and backing everybody up, that is at the end of the day a legitimate strategy to win.
Yeah, there's nothing against it.
Yeah. Prost was called the professor because he would win by only the margin that he needed to win by. If he needed third or fourth to get where he needed to be in the championship, he would be comfortable in third or fourth. He would not race for the win, So it's.
And how many times do you hear teams tell like the other driver, like, "Hey, hold these guys up as much as you can. Like we're pitting, we're doing this, we're doing that." Like it's not like that doesn't happen. It's just when you put it on a track like Monaco, you see what happens. They're like, "Hey, you can't pass me. It doesn't matter." So that's just the extreme of it. That's all.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. It's not that it's a shame, but it's a little bit of a shame. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, this is not gonna be. If this is gonna be your crown jewel, if this is gonna be your part in the greatest day in racing,
right?
What the fuck are we doing here? You know what I mean? So, that I think from that perspective, and I hate to be like from a marketing perspective kind of guy, but from a marketing perspective, it's just not it, man. You got to put your best foot forward. You got to have something exciting, and from a racing standpoint, this was definitely not what I would qualify anything as exciting.
Yeah, definitely not. But I mean, they tried. Like that's kind of nice to see at least. Like, hey, we tried. We're willing to try to mix it up because they understand that there is a lack of competitiveness during the race itself. But
now, my question though is that interfering with the race? Because like you weren't around for this, but Abu Dhabi 2014 or 2015 would have been 2015 was double points, right? So Rosberg and Hamilton were going back to back, and Hamilton had a clear lead, and he would have been the champion in another season. But because the last race of the season had double points on the line, it wasn't over, right? So it made it more exciting from that perspective. But when you take one race and you change the rules for that one race, what does that do in the context of the rest of your world championship, right? How does that affect the validity of the rest of the races?
What's the butterfly effect going forward from it?
Exactly. So this was full points. This was something where it was basically, okay, qualifying who does the fastest hot lap, and then you get a full victory on the way down the rest of the order. But it didn't do anything in terms of, it may have had a psychological effect, obviously, because Lando was our winner. Not my winner, but the winner of the race.
So who would your winner be then if it wasn't the winner
I
of the race?
don't fucking know, Derek. I mean, I thought about that one on the fly, okay? We're not all comedic geniuses. But I think that that question has to be raised, okay? If we're changing the rules of one particular race or one particular event on the calendar, why? What does that do? Why is it just this one that's special? Why is it that, what kind of effect does that have on the rest of the season? And ultimately, how does that change the context of the championship that somebody wins, right? We talk about like basketball, right? People say, oh, the LeBron's championship with the Lakers was the Mickey Mouse championship, and he was in the bubble, so it doesn't count.
Yeah,
like, okay, like, do you want somebody to say that about, and people talk about it, not necessarily with the double points finish. But people talk about that in the context of different races and different events that could have happened. How do you prevent that from happening? Because ultimately that kind of a narrative is not good for your sport, right?
I'm honestly thinking like just making an all-star race is the best way for it
Yeah,
moving forward. Honestly, like
100%.
you still honor it. They have fun. They drive around. They don't have to take it so
Lego
seriously
cars.
because yeah, like honestly,
Doing the
like
Lego
do
cars.
something fun or bring your cars to the track. Like the whole point of it is the glitz and the glam of it's Monaco and this is our history. Like you can still do all that then, and it just doesn't mean anything realistically at the end of the day. Maybe you do like what NASCAR does. Here's $1 million to the winner. So like they still want to try to win, but it doesn't affect the championship. You take away the points from it, and you still just have a fun weekend out of it.
But it's not going to be good racing with the cars. The cars are too big.
It's not good racing already.
No. But what I'm saying is, if you're throwing $1 million at it,
well,
and
that's still
saying
it's
it's
something
a
to do
one-off,
like qualifying
special,
and stuff. Like qualifying is still important then and everything like that. Like everybody still wants to try to win. Like, hey, you're getting a bonus still at least, but
it's still going to be the guy who does the best on Saturday is going to do it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think if you're going to do some kind of a historic race, that clip that I sent you of
the
the
Maseratis.
Maserati, oh my god, dude, those cars, the Fangio's Maserati 250F is the greatest sounding car in the history of the sport. Like we can talk about the V10s, we can talk about the V12s. That fucking car sounded glorious, right?
Mm-hmm. Or you do the Top Gear hot hatch race.
Yes, put him in a Fiat Panda. Yeah, let's go.
Literally. Right.
Yeah.
Could you imagine seeing a Ferrari hot hatch? Like they'd have to they're like, just roll the Fiat out. Yep, do that. Aston Martin's throwing. I don't even know what the hell they would put out there.
The Aston Martin, I think, had
or put a bunch of Clios out there.
Dude, Renault, don't sleep on the Renault Clio. Oh my god, dude, that would be, or like fucking put them in rally cars.
Well, shit,
put them in like tiny little 4-doors.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Audi would be part of that. Mercedes could do that. They all could do that at the very least. That'd be fun.
Except for, fuck it. Or spec Miatas. Everybody, everybody in a fucking NA Miata with pop-up headlights. They put different liveries on them, and they just fucking send it.
Just do it. See what happens.
Yeah, no, that's the best way to do it, hands down.
Make it an all-star weekend. Do something fun like that. That would be fun. But you did bring up qualifying, and I do think we do have to start with that with regards to like going through like the teams and what actually happened, because again, this is the race that really does just come down to qualifying. So I think the biggest shock of all that really messed the most things up was Mercedes not even making it into Q3. That right there is what ended up really killing their whole weekend. Doesn't matter what happened. Like you messed up, you weren't even in a points position at the start of the race, and you didn't finish in one. And you know what happens at Monaco. So, as much as it sucked that they got backed up by the smart strategy plays by the teams so far behind them in the team standing, like be faster than them. You are faster than them. Like that. That's just what happened. They messed up. Kimi. I mean, he wrecks, so his day is done there. But George not making it through because of another technical issue. Like, what more did you expect to have happen then at the end of the day there?
Yeah.
And then Lando getting Q1 was the other obvious thing there, right? Like the literal one time that entire weekend Charles was not the fastest around that track. Made me look like a complete idiot saying he ain't gonna do it again. and the one time I don't pick Norris to win a race, there you go. Perfect combination.
Both of our pick in Max let us down for sure. But honestly, and you had texted me after this for a little bit of behind the scenes.
Red dot, we're back. Okay. That was weird. So
yeah, they heard me say the F-bomb.
That'll be a weird cut in the middle there,
said, but we're done.
We were recording and then it stopped the recording, but now we are re-recording again. So Yeah, Lando sent it. He kept the position after the first turn,
We're,
whatever that was, and or
we're
first lap,
spending no
and
time on
here
the
we are.
technical difficulties whatsoever, just acting like it didn't happen.
No, I'm just repicking it back up. I'm gonna leave in to stop recording, and then I don't know what the fuck, but hey, here
Did
we
it
are.
save? Did it save our first portion? That's my question.
I sure as hell hope so. It should have because it's set to automatically do that. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, can we check real quick?
Yeah.
We can take that out. I don't know. Or not. You're the editor. Do whatever you want.
It's not gonna. It doesn't do it right away. We need to give it a couple minutes. So I I think it did, but let's just keep rolling here. We are recording again. So qualifying. Anything further you want to say on qualifying?
I don't even have anything further I want to say on the race, to be honest.
No, there was some good stuff still during the race that I think we still need to go through. I mean, so you know, Lando, yes, he wins. We talked a little bit about the Bortoleto and Pierre. They got into their wrecks and like nothing really happened there. Um, the other things that I really had notes on during the race were there were really two things. It was one just the good strategy by Racing Bulls, and then later on executed by Williams. That was very impressive by Williams to be able to do that because they were very much something like in a position where they were going to be screwed as well. But the other real thing that happened during the race that I think we should talk about is Alonso's bad luck. Dude was set for a points finish, and that would have messed up Williams's double points finish in this race, and just there it goes again. Engine was gone, and yet again another safety car didn't come out from it either.
Yeah. No, and that was a real shame because I don't think he scored points all year.
He has not scored points all year. He is 0 for 8. This is his worst start since his first season.
Is we can't chalk up a mechanical issue to skill, but is it time?
No, I really don't think so because he got himself into the top 10. He had run a very fine race. He was going to finish 7th, actually take home some points. But the car broke on him. Like, it's not the first time the car has broken on him this season. Like, that's not his fault.
Yeah, it's not. But
Like that is just not his fault. It's like, so is he washed? No, I don't think he's washed, but he's having shit luck. And then the other weekends when his car isn't just breaking on him, it's an Aston Martin this year. They're just not that good.
yeah, no, it's tough. And as somebody who has a soft spot for Alonso, it's hard to see.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, man. It's like your dog getting older. You just get worried.
Yeah. That's very fair. That's a good way to put it. It's, oh no, like are we really starting to see the end of it type of a thing?
And I don't know if we are, but like I went over, I visited my family dog.
Mm-hmm.
I remember very distinctly the first time that she did not greet me at the door when I walked in. Like she did not sprint over,
Mm-hmm.
and then she did not like meet me like, I don't know. The last time I went over there, she did not get up from her bed, and given it was like 7 in the morning, and usually she's not up that early.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, dog, I have to come over and make sure that I say hello to you. What's going on here,
Right.
And I'm gonna get sad, so I'm gonna move on.
We'll move past that.
Yeah. But it's like I don't know. I don't have any hope for him having a good rest of the season. I don't necessarily see that Aston Martin getting better, and we got to keep our fingers crossed. No, but we got to keep our fingers crossed that Newey nails it and Alonso can get back on the podium. Yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not like Aston Martin hasn't proved that they can't produce a car to be able to have that kind of result. It's just, I think they found themselves in a spot where they're like, shit, we're not going to be nearly as competitive as we'd like to be. The same thing, we'll just can this to next season. So that sucks for them. But yeah, other than that, I mean, the pit strategy stuff from Williams and Racing Bulls was fantastic. George cutting the chicane, those were like all the exciting parts during the race itself.
We also have to talk about Lando asking for Oscar's help. That
Oh,
was
come
so
on.
pathetic.
No,
Pathetic.
that's not the
Soft.
every
Softer
driver
than
does
baby
that.
shit.
Every driver does that. Max in his 2021 in the
No.
last race. Can Checo hold him up? Can Checo do something? Oh, Checo's a legend. Like, that's part of the team aspect
That's
of
part
it.
of the team game, but when your teammate is your number one competitor for the fucking drivers championship, that's soft as hell. That
I
is, as I
guarantee
said,
I
softer than
guarantee
baby
Oscar
shit.
has said something like that during this season.
Fucking
I
find me
bet you
the
he
tape.
has. You know what it
Find me
is?
the tape.
It's the freaking whoever controls when you listen to the radio. They knew what they were doing. It's the same thing as when Sam Darnold was
He
on the
still
sideline
said it.
going, "I'm seeing ghosts." Like, you know, it's the same thing. Like, that's just shit where it's like they probably say shit like that throughout the entire race and you just don't hear it. But now it's, oh, what a fun storyline this is gonna
But you
produce.
would hear it
Click.
from the freaks that listen to the radio after the people that listen to it to go like after the race and find stuff like this. You would have seen it on the internet a couple of days later. You
But
haven't
But
because
this was on
Oscar
the
hasn't said it.
broadcast of the race. That reaches a
Yeah,
much wider audience than just the freaks on the internet
and
who are
it's
going
still
through.
not
I
to
need to
call
listen
these
to
people
every
freaks because
20
these people
drivers radio. You know what I
not to
mean?
call these people freaks because these people are probably our target audience. But what I'm saying is,
Oh, but also
it's not
that is a freak move, and you should embrace that. Like that's you're
yeah,
an F1
100%.
sicko. You're a
Be
sicko,
a
and that's
psycho.
perfectly great. Yeah.
Yes, we encourage unhinged behavior on this program. Um, no, but I he's just not got it, man. And that's the thing.
He won.
This he got to win,
He
all right,
won. He
but
got the
can
qualifying. He did what he needed to do. He
but
won, and he's 3 points out from it right now. It is
but
anybody's
question
championship.
but my question is because it's Monaco, it's special. Is this going to tell us actually anything about how the rest of the season is going to go? Because I don't think that this is going to be. Hopefully for Lando, it's some kind of a psychological turning point because I think it is the mental game where he's
Yeah,
not necessarily
he got a
strong enough.
win. That's
He
huge
got
for
he got a
confidence.
win because he nailed it on Saturday,
Yeah,
right? But there have been other times where he's nailed it on Saturday and then just given it up. And
yeah,
I
but he's
think
also
his
had a lot of
teammate,
races recently where he
but
hasn't
his
nailed it on one of those days, and then you get the bet. Like this time,
but
he did the
his
complete weekend.
but what I'm saying is his teammate is the guy who usually puts it together and usually has it and is usually that guy,
Mhm.
right? I don't think that this is going to be a significant swing in terms of the drivers' championship that we think or want it to be, because I think Oscar is still so strong and will have a better shot at pulling it out and proving that he's the superior driver. I think that Oscar is still the better driver, and I think that that will be seen throughout the rest of the races.
Mhm.
I don't think that this win will be the momentum shift that it would have been if it were on like Barcelona, right? Or wherever he could have been. And of course, now that I say that, Lando's going to fucking win in Barcelona.
Yeah,
But
this
what I'm saying is,
is probably gonna be a really good track for McLaren.
no, 100%. But I think Oscar's got him. He's going to eat
Mm.
his lunch. So I don't think that it would be. I think it would be more significant if it were at a track that is not Monaco, even though Monaco and winning Monaco in and of itself, like we say, the Indy 500 is its own sort of championship.
Mhm.
Monaco is its own special. It's one of the crown jewels of motor racing, but it's not in the course of the season going to be that much more significant. I think it would be a bigger deal if he had won on an actual circuit and put a real race together.
I disagree. I still think it's like you said it earlier. It's he stopped the bleeding. He got the win. He got the pole position on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
He's done the things like for that mental switch. Like I do still have it. Monaco is the track where you need to be perfect the entire time. You cannot make a single mistake. He didn't make a single mistake. He did it. He went out and won the damn thing. He got the pole position. He held
except
the
for being a
lead.
little whiny over the radio.
Again, that's just the producers knew exactly what they were doing with that. They're like, oh, we're gonna get some pundits really talking here on this one.
And here we are talking
I'm seeing
about
ghosts. Exactly. That's exactly what they knew what they were doing there. So, but he won. At the end of the day, it's all that matters. Is hey, I won. I went out. I did what I needed to do. I can do this. That's a huge confidence builder. And for as boring as of a race it has become, it's still a crown jewel. Lando Norris has won Monaco. Charles Leclerc, when he won Monaco, the relief that he had after that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it still has an effect. Yes, he's a Monegascan, and yes, he has been cursed there, but...
What'd you call him?
Monegascan? That's what people from Monaco are called. Monegasque? Is it just that?
I think it's just Monegasque. I don't think there's an N. I think you made it American.
Whatever. Anyways. My point still is, I think this is going to be big for Lando. This upcoming week at Barcelona should be just an impressive race for McLaren, and
let's hope
it is. But moving down the order here from the rest of the weekend, Charles P2, Hamilton P5, great. I mean, good weekend again for Ferrari. I mean, Hamilton probably finishes fourth if he doesn't have that penalty.
Bullshit penalty, yeah.
So, good weekend for Ferrari, though. Honestly, really good weekend for Ferrari. Making up the ground on Mercedes and Red Bull from this weekend with the 2 points place finish, or 2 high points place finishing. And then Max finishes in fourth, which again is where he started. Most of this is just gonna be, that's where they were, But still, Ferrari needed this kind of a weekend.
I like I said, man, I don't really have a whole lot to say about the rest of the race. So
okay, well let's get to honestly 6th through 10th was the best part of it. So that's where it started with Racing Bulls backing everybody up and making that decision early too to get that done.
Yeah,
that was oh shoot. Everybody else behind it was like, oh shit, we're fucked.
But we have to say, that is a legitimate strategy, is to hold people up and win as slowly as possible.
No, absolute. Hey, brilliant performance, Racing Bulls. That was actually amazing. Isaac Hadjar finishing 6th. Liam Lawson in 8th. I didn't think, honestly, we were going to talk much about Liam Lawson at all the rest of the season. Shout out him. I don't
think we will anymore.
Great job.
Yeah.
Great job by him. Ocon getting some points for Haas to keep 6th place. Racing Bulls is now very, very close to Haas in that position now.
Didn't Haas get double points finish?
They did not. No, Behrman, they actually had a good strategy call for Behrman there too, because he did have that 10-place grid penalty. They pitted him early, just right away. They're like, you got to go and just hope you can get past and just be done with everybody else behind him. He ended up in 12th in the race because of the Alonso and then the Gasly getting knocked out. So, I would guess that probably went into their strategy. Like, we need him to pit early, and we need some help with some people getting knocked out. And then they just got caught up in the Williams thing at the end there. But I mean, he was right there. He finished. Let's see, Russell was 141.07, and then Behrman was 141.28. So he was about 15-ish seconds, 20-ish seconds behind Russell there, but he was in dead last and had a lot of ground to make up. So not bad by him and the Haas strategy there. And they got points out of Ocon, which they needed to keep the lead over Racing Bulls for the latter rankings in the constructors here. But then 9th, 10th, you finished with the Albon Sainz. That was nice to see Sainz give that position back to Albon too, to finish ahead of him. You really have nothing. No,
I truly, I'm sorry, dude. You're gonna have to carry. Not the most conscious race for me. Let's just put it that way. A little bit of a
snooze fest.
Suzuka situation. Didn't I fall asleep during Suzuka?
Japanese.
Yeah. That's what it was. So
So
sorry about that, guys.
sorry about that, eh?
What the fuck is this? Is this racism here that
That
you're
was your
saying?
Canadianism right there. I have great
That's
admiration
what I'm
for our
saying.
Canadian friends. Every time I've been to Canada, I develop the accent, and it's very sad, but I just can't help myself because I hear the people around me, and I'm like, it's awesome. I got to mimic this.
All right.
So,
You're on thin ice, buddy. Let's just put it that way.
hey, you watch yourself there, hoser.
Okay. All right. This is getting racist here. This is not acceptable.
I'll give you your maple syrup first.
I'm gonna leave this
Anyways,
program again.
but
You're gonna need a new co-host.
do you want to talk about Yuki?
What do we need to talk about?
He finished in 17th. It just, I don't know.
I mean, like we kind of talked about, it's the curse of the second Red Bull seed. I don't think that it's representative of who he is as a driver necessarily. And he brought it home. That's more than could be said of some other drivers. So
It's fair. You're not wrong there. Um, yeah, I'm just grasping at straws now for the rest of this race. I don't have much else to say. I mean,
and
Stroll didn't see anything really from him.
that's the
Hulkenberg,
thing.
I
I mean,
didn't.
we can go through it and just kind of try to find something, or we can be like, yeah,
Oh, I got
Monaco was a
something.
5 out of 100 or 15 out of
Mercedes.
100 if we're being generous.
Going back to Mercedes and George just
Yeah.
being completely Britishly aggravated and just fuck this. I'm cutting this corner.
And
That
that
was
was
very funny
ridiculous.
to hear because I think one thing that's different about us, you watch the F1 TV, right?
Yes.
I watch ESPN, so I get the Sky coverage of it.
Okay.
Hearing them talk about, some of the things that Mercedes could do, they're like, well, they could just not pit him, take the penalty, like because he built up a 10-second lead or whatever the timing penalty they could have given him for doing that was, and just taken like the fine, but you still get a point, you know? That was
Um
something they did discuss very briefly. Like, I wonder if this could be an option for them. And that's where, for me, I gave it like a 15 out of 100 rather than a 5 or a 10, because I'm like, there's some fun stuff like that did happen during the race, at least.
No, and Russell cutting the chicane was definitely the most exciting. I'm sorry, I missed a little bit of what you said because my headphones died.
Mm.
So sorry if that screwed up the audio, everybody.
There he is. That's our Canadian right there.
All right. I'll take that one. No, I think because if Russell just didn't pit at all, it would have been a disqualification.
Okay.
And if I don't know what would have happened if he pitted once, but it was gross, honestly, that he's like, "Oh, I want the penalty." Like, fuck you. Fuck you.
That was a road rage right there, if
That was
anything.
no. That was it was cheat. I don't want to say cheating because like cheating is a part of racing, right? It's just about getting caught. But it was the blatant disrespect for.
Sorry, I'm gonna do this. Keep going.
It was the blatant disrespect for the rules and the blatant just like, yeah, all right, I doesn't matter. Oh, I'd prefer not to speak because they gave me a drive-through. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But still, just that was fun. I don't know. It was something different.
It was fun. It was different, but it was also like, yeah, you didn't finish. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like you got what you deserved.
So I just finished doing what I needed to do. I saw an incredible video earlier about this dude talking about cheating in NASCAR in like the early days. It is absolutely incredible some of the shit these guys were doing to get away with it. It was so fucking good. You just watch that on your free time later. I'll repost the video from the Backmarkers TikTok page as well, just so listener can see what I'm talking about here. But if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That is the exact motto in racing.
So the guys over at Donut Media, if you watch them on YouTube, shout out to them. They did a history of cheating in racing, and they talked about this guy named Smokey Eunuch, who is one of like the first like NASCAR guys, right? Eventually was hired by NASCAR to stop people from cheating, right? So you have X amount of fuel capacity in your race car, in your fuel tank, right? So this guy made his fuel lines longer so that he could have more fuel in the fuel lines and therefore have more fuel in the car, which is awesome.
That is the video I sent you.
Oh, sweet. There we go. That's awesome.
I don't know. You've seen it already. It's amazing.
No, I haven't. I don't think I've seen that video unless it was the donut guys.
They took the tank out of the car.
Yeah.
And then he just drove away. He's like, all right, see you guys. They're like, how did he do that?
But it's also like,
he had like 300 miles left to go because of the rest of the dimensions were off.
And then you think about Ferrari a couple of years ago, how they had that illegal fuel flow monitor and got penalized, but didn't get penalized. And it was a secret thing. And it was like under wraps and everything.
Well, shoot, right now, McLaren's cooling brake system, their front
not
wing
illegal.
that, just it just, I don't know, it just opens, it's blown. We're not pressing anything. That's stuff you got to do. I mean, it's not in the rules, doesn't say it. There's
exactly.
There you go.
And that's the beautiful
it's
thing.
It's perfectly Bill Belichick. If you're a Patriots fan, you would love listening and figuring all this shit out. It's like, it's not in the rules. Like, we got to find some ways to get around some of this stuff here.
Jeez.
That was my best impression of a Bill Belichick impression. And
that was honestly a pretty solid Belichick impression. The only problem is that you're the same age as your wife, so.
Are you trying to say you do not want to have Jordan and Bill on this podcast at any point in time in the future?
I mean, no.
You don't think they have much to contribute to the world of motorsport?
They have nothing to. I mean, Belichick would be fascinating from an interview perspective. I don't even know who that. Everything that I have learned about that woman has been against my will. But honestly, like, good, you got to respect the hustle.
I didn't ask for this.
Yeah, like I don't need to know anything more, but hell yeah, we love a little bit of elder abuse. So, do you think get the bag?
Well, there you go. Well, because it was the greatest day in racing, we had two other races that did happen from this, and we can go through those briefly. We do not have to do a full breakdown, but how much of the Indy 500 did you watch?
I watched all of it.
You did watch all of it.
That was the race I was most alert and attentive for.
It was a great race.
Yeah, pretty great race.
That one is called the greatest spectacle in racing, and I do believe that deserves that title fully. I mean, it's for as boring as Monaco was, the Indy 500 was as exciting it could have been. You had a wreck on the pace lap,
which was ridiculous. And then also, like, I did not realize what an asshole Kyle Larson was.
What do you mean?
Because there was this clip that I saw later of him saying some fucking idiot just spun out on the pace lap, and then he just like gave him a thumbs up, and it was just like super douchey and passive aggressive. And then he wrecked, again in the 600
in NASCAR, yeah,
which was like, all right, you're fucking
he had a tough day.
You reap what you sow. Fuck you.
He had a tough day. To his credit, though, the year before he had a damn good chance at winning that thing before he had a pit lane speeding penalty that took him out of it at the end of it. But yeah, he had a tough go of it this weekend. I definitely was sitting there kind of being like, I'd like to see him like be in the mix because it was just fun. But yeah, him wrecking, it happened right in front of me. Basically all of the accidents and the wrecks and the cautions happened right in front of where I was sitting. So that was awesome. Right into turn one, which we were kind of on the very end of it, where you hit the straight and then you go into turn two. You could see them turning and then they disappeared into sight from there. But yeah, pretty much everything happened right in front of us, which was amazing. So that was a
That
fun day.
rocks.
Yeah. I was definitely not prepared for the race itself, though. I was prepared in two ways. So I was prepared in the fact that I brought enough beers that I wanted to drink, and I did bring food, and we had cushioned seats on, to put on top of the bleachers, so like that was all fine and dandy and good there. However, like 3 days leading up to it, I could not stop watching the weather report for Indy because it could not have changed more every single day. Like one day it was
Yeah.
going to be like 75 and sunny, and then it was like 60 and cold, and then it was like, oh, it's going to be like 65. Like, so I didn't know how to pack, and I'm like, what am I going to wear? Like, because I don't want to be cold, and I don't want it to be raining on me. I was like, whatever, I'll figure it out. So I overpacked for the weekend, and then Saturday, or sorry, yeah, Saturday night, I'm re-looking at the report and I'm like, it says it's gonna be like 65 and mostly cloudy. I'm like, I'll probably wear jeans and a hoodie or something like that and I'll be fine. I wake up on Sunday morning, I look at the weather again, 70, partly cloudy, no rain chance, anything like that. I'm like, gonna be beautiful. I got my shorts on. I'm like, I'm gonna wear like a lightweight, like just hoodie to pull over on top of it, just because it's cold in the morning as we're driving down there and whatever. We get there. It's it didn't fully rain, thank God, but it was drizzling and spitting a little bit enough where you're like, that's some cold water right there. It was windy the whole time. I didn't see the sun once while we were there. So I'm sitting there in my seat drinking cold beers all day. I'm like, fuck, I'm freezing right now. I'm like this. I've got goosebumps on my legs like the entire time. I'm looking all around me, and everybody was kind of in the same boat. You had some people who were prepared and dressed the right way. You had more people like me, and then there's some other people who were like tank top and shorts with bumped up all over the place. I'm like, man, this no one really knew what was going to happen today. That's for sure. So, but what to talking about the weather, I think that did affect um who Scott McLaughlin's accident on the pace lap
Yeah.
because they had the cars out on the front
Mhm.
straightaway for like the show and all the pre-race stuff, and they had the dryers and stuff like that on the track, but they never went down the front stretch because all the cars were there and they never made the cars go away. So
Mhm.
from the end of the front straightaway to the very end or the beginning of the front straightaway, dry as could be. They ran the dryers out the entire time leading up to the race. But where he wrecks, he probably just hit a wet patch because they didn't run the dryers over it. And they
Yeah.
just didn't get it all by doing their ceremonial laps, which is
And that
understandable.
and that's what it looked like from watching the replay.
Hmm.
Was that he either just lit his tires up or had like a wet spot or something like that and just was done. And that was definitely a shame. And it was tough to see. Like, obviously, he had a very emotional reaction, which this is a pro emotions podcast. This is
Hmm.
a pro crying in sports program. And immediately I was like, ah, damn, if only Anthony Hamilton were here to just like, give him a pat on the shoulder.
You did text me that.
That's a shame. Yeah, no, and
Mm.
and 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 that sucks. I mean, like, obviously, you prepare for something your whole life, and right before you're about to get started, it falls to pieces. Like that
Mm.
that is devastating. So my heart goes out to him, but my money goes on him for next year. So let's
Stay
just
tuned
remember
for an
that.
early pick there.
Oh no, 1,000%. I'm calling that shot. And can we talk about our picks, Derek?
Yes.
Because you nailed yours.
Crushed it. Granted,
Killed it.
again, Pillow had won 4 out of 5 races before then. So I was
Yeah.
strictly going on he's hot.
Yeah.
Like let the shooter shoot. And it happened. Which they said at during while we were sitting in the grandstand, Pillow starting P6, no driver has ever won from P6. I'm like, shit, I wish I knew that going into this thing. So then you're
Yeah.
watching them go and good lot of action going on around. I timed it at one point from the last car passing us to then the leader coming back around 25 seconds.
Damn.
It was
Wow.
it's the fastest race that exists on the planet. There's no
Yeah.
one who goes faster. They were I wish I figured this out a lot earlier in the race. So I downloaded the IndyCar app and then
Mhm.
it was like with 20 or so laps to go and Pelot's starting to make his moves here to get up into it and get to the lead, right? So I saw someone sitting over to my left. I'm like, oh, they're looking at the timing tables because eventually it got to a point where I'm like, I don't know who the leader is because I just don't know the cars that well. Like I can see on the
Yeah.
video board, I'm like, well, it says this guy, but like I don't know what that car looks like. I'm just not as
Mhm.
familiar with it. But then I saw this guy pull it up. I'm like, oh, it's telling you the timing and everything like that. So I'm like, what is that? And I saw him close out, and it was the IndyCar app. I'm like, I'm downloading that shit right now. Download it, open it up. I'm watching the leaderboards, and then I'm like, click to watch in-car. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I clicked on Pelot's. It just pulled the in-car camera up right away. I'm like, oh my God. It was a little delayed. It was about a lap
Yeah.
delayed from live to that video feed, but it showed you exactly how fast the car was going at all points in time. It showed you the angle of the steering wheel of what they were using. It
Wow.
was showing you when they were using push to pass. It was incredible. I'm like, how is this free? Like I
Yeah.
created an account and then I could watch everything. I'm like, this is incredible. So as they're going in front of me, I found out, oh, in the turn, he's going 205 miles an hour. And then on the little straight, he's getting up to 220 miles an hour. And then on the straightaway, he gets to go faster than that. I'm like, oh my God,
Interesting.
these speeds are incredible that they pull there. Absolutely
That's
wild.
awesome.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm an absolute genius, apparently. I picked it at the Indy race. And then you
Dude, I'm
picked a
so
NASCAR
mad.
race. We're smart.
I'm
We know
so
ball.
mad.
Or do we know
No, I
wheel?
nailed it. We know wheel.
We know
I
wheel.
like that.
We
We know
know
wheel.
wheel. That's the title of this podcast. We know wheel.
We know wheel. There we go. No, I'm kind of mad, Derek. So I completely forgot that we had made picks, right? So when you nailed the Pelot
Plus
victory,
600 for you on that one.
I was like, okay, what was your pick for the because like we were both fucked on Monaco. We
No,
both
we
screwed the
we
pooch on
went
that one.
2-1 on our picks in Monaco. We didn't pick the winner,
No, we
but we
picked
had the
Verstappen.
right. So that was the one we missed. But
Yeah,
we picked the under unclassified finishers, which hit, and then we
yeah,
had the under 5 seconds for our gap, which hit too. So
yeah.
collectively, with our bonus picks, you and I each went 3-2. That's a very solid weekend right there.
100%. Except I downloaded the app. I figured out how to log into the app of a sports book that will not be named yet because
Yep.
they're not paying us in
Yet.
cash or pizza to name what their app is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, well, Derek nailed the IndyCar race, so his NASCAR pick has got to be solid, right? So I went and I tailed
With the
your
hot hand.
NASCAR pick instead of the one that I called purely based on vibes in Ross Chastain, who ended up
Mm-hmm.
being our winner.
Yep.
And because I heard
last,
over the
won the race.
and I was so mad because I heard it. I didn't realize that he started last until you said that at the beginning of this program.
Mm-hmm.
There was they said, oh, he's never won here before. And I was like, all right, well, that's out. I guess I should just tail Derek. Let's just see how that goes. And it was not until you told me that my pick won did I realize that I had screwed that up. So I spent my entire life savings, $7.50,
Mm-hmm.
on that, and I will be sending you an invoice for my life savings back. So thank you for that.
You know what? I can pay for it with my winnings from Alex Pillow.
You put money on it? That rocks.
Oh, I absolutely put money on that. Yeah, it was
Hell
funny
yeah,
because
dude.
when I was looking at the books, I sometimes I like to see what else is out there. Like last year, I remember there was a bet like you could bet on which manufacturer was going to win the 500, which is hilarious because it's either
It's like,
Chevy
yeah,
or
too.
Honda, and that is
Yeah.
it for IndyCar. So I like
That's
to put it on Chevy because I'm still a Detroit guy here. Um, and that just wasn't an option. I'm like, well, that's
Mhm.
kind of unfortunate. So I was like, well, I'll stick with just my pick then for what I said in the podcast. So I'll pick Pillow. Fantastic. Looking through NASCAR, I'm like, all right, put on my race winner. And then, but they had the pick the manufacturer. I was like, I'll pick Chevy for this one at least. So I did get another win out of it. So I was like, you know what? I didn't win the big one, but I won my money back at least.
Oh, damn. And this is a good gambling program, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say we're necessarily pro gambling, but maybe we should be. Maybe
Like
we could
professional
be if we got a
gamblers
sponsorship.
or
Oh, no. We are not professionals by any
no?
means.
That's what I was
But if
clarifying.
no, if I mean just in terms of like a pro or anti program. I think this is a pro gambling program.
For how much I talk about it,
we talk
very
about
much
it a little
enjoy
bit
it.
too
Yeah.
much for it to not be a gambling based program. But it would be better if we got a sponsorship. So again, send us an email, backmarkersf1pod@gmail.com. We have not gotten a single email still.
Or DM us on any of the socials, backmarkerspod_. We're on TikTok, we're on Twitter, we are on X, if you want to call it that way too. Instagram and our
you got
YouTube
my hopes
page.
up because you said it right the first time.
And our YouTube page is up and firing too. We're gonna start putting the podcast on there for video, which you can watch on video on Spotify too.
There we go. Don't know if you should, but you can.
Hey, you can. It is an option for you. So apparently, we know wheel. That's our new phrase going forward. We know wheel. And I should have bragged about it that way earlier, but we'll just do it for the next go around here with Barcelona.
Next go around. I see what you did there.
I didn't even mean to do that.
All right.
Just comes naturally.
Yeah, we're so good at this.
I like to think so.
Yeah. No. All right. Anything else that we need to cover before we get more delusional?
That kind of wraps up everything that I had from the weekend here. I was not able to tune into any of the NASCAR race, so I just don't know what really happened in it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it was pretty good. As somebody who's not a NASCAR aficionado, I saw the first stage, which is cool how they break it down into stages. That's very interesting. And then I saw the last. There's either 20 or 50 laps as they were going into it, and that was very interesting to watch happen. Couldn't tell you about what was going on necessarily because I'm not the biggest NASCAR guy in the world.
Yeah,
but the beauty of having a motorsport based program and being forced to talk with my buddy about how motorsports go week in and week out, I now feel compelled to pay more attention to it. Okay. So since we are trying, and we discussed this pre-podcast, to go to the Detroit Grand Prix this weekend, who knows? Maybe we'll be a little bit, a little bit more cultured and have a little bit more to say on it.
I think we will. Have you ever been to an IndyCar race before?
I have, as a matter of fact. I went a couple of times when it was on Belle Isle. Once I went for the race itself, and then I went for a qualifying day, which was really, really cool. In 2 separate years that I did that, but it was awesome to see. And then when it was coming into the city, I have not made it yet, but glad we have an excuse this time around.
I wonder if we could get media passes.
Okay, all right. Let's
calm
down here. Let's calm down here.
Let's look into it.
Right.
Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
You never know. Anything could happen. We're a Detroit area based national worldwide program. I mean, literally anybody could listen to us. That's the beauty of this thing.
I wish my head was as big as yours. That would oh my God. If I had your confidence, Derek, I would be indestructible. Man.
Tune in.
We'll have to see.
Yep. So yeah, we'll come back at you here later this week for our Barcelona Pontiac Grand Preview, and then we'll talk. I think we should talk a little bit more IndyCar and like what we're looking to do there for the weekend, since we will be mobilized and on boots on the ground there in Detroit this weekend or upcoming weekend, and we can take it away from there. Yeah,
we should. Maybe we'll get an IndyCar special or just something to add to the program. But you'll have to see because we don't know.
True.
So yeah, if anybody has any media credentials to hand out, please email them to backmarkersf1pod@gmail.com.
There you go.
I'm just hoping for one email in the inbox before the next step. But we'll see.
We go. We'll clip that. We'll put it out. Make sure everybody sees it.
I don't know. Like honestly, like send us like a picture of your cat or whatever. Like I mean, like something. Just put something in the inbox. It really does not. It does not have to be motorsport related. Just we'll talk about it, or maybe we won't. I don't know. One way to find out.
Or send
Backmarkers
us
F1 Pod.
Send us your pizzas. What would you put on your pizza pies?
That's it. What's the best pizza out there? Easy.
There you go. So, alrighty. Well, hey, thanks again for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Have a good week.